Welcome back, everyone, to Data Science for Everyone. Today, we're going to be continuing our discussion on functions in JavaScript. Let's get started. So, today we're going to be looking at something such as passing a function as an argument. Now, in JavaScript, functions are first-class citizens. Now, this means that they can be used like any other value, such as a number or a string. Now, for example, you can store a function in a variable or pass a function as an argument to another function. The latter is especially common as there are many functions that delegate work to other functions. When a function is passed as an argument, it is often referred to as a callback, because the function it's passed to is said to call it back by executing it. Now, we'll illustrate this with a couple JavaScript built-in functions. So first off, we're going to look at the set timeout function. Now, the set timeout function allows you to delay the calling of another function. It takes two arguments, a function to call and a time in milliseconds to wait for before calling the function. So here's how it works. Let's create up a function called greeting. And this is going to be simpler than what we had done in the past. Oops. And we'll just say console log hello. All right, we'll save that. And then we can say set timeout, and we have our callback of greeting, and we'll have it wait for 2,000 milliseconds. Okay, and it comes out. You see here 1 and hello. So first we created this simple function with no arguments, greeting. Now, it's just going to call the console log, and then we'll call the set timeout and passing the greeting function and the number 2000, indicating 2000 milliseconds or 2 seconds, as arguments. Once you press enter, the set timeout should immediately return a time ID. So in this case, is going to be 1. Which is a unique identifier you can use to cancel or delay the function call if desired. So after 2 seconds, the greeting function is called and hello is going to be logged to the console. Now, to cancel a function delay with the set timeout call, we need to call the clear timeout function, passing the ID of the argument. So in this instance, we can do set set timeout greeting, and we'll say 20,000. Okay, so it's set, and so notice here it's running, and when we want to cancel it, we can do clear timeout of 2. And again here, clear timeout is not defined. Hello. So again here, there should, and again here, notice it's Tim out. So let's do that just one more time. So let's let it run. We'll do clear timeout, and it was of 3. There, undefined, and now it will stop our timer from going. Now notice that when we pass these functions to an argument, we write its name without parentheses. Okay. In this case, the greeting function, so we're saying greeting instead of greeting here. Okay. Now a function name without parentheses simply refers to the function, while the function with the parentheses, like this, actually calls the function. Now, so let's actually take a look here at the difference. So I can do greeting, And notice hello undefined. Now if I just do greeting and run it, notice it actually gives us here a little bit of extra information. It shows us what the actual function looks like. Now again, executing just a plain greeting without parentheses prints the function definition, but it doesn't call it. Now again, when we use the parentheses in here, then it actually calls the greeting function, printing the hello and returning an undefined. So we also have some other function syntaxes that I'd like to discuss today. So we've been going through this basic format of function, and then some function name, okay, and we have an argument with our square, or with our curly brackets, okay? So, and maybe we would have some argument in here. Okay. Now, these other syntaxes are just other ways that JavaScript is going to support the creation of functions. So the function declaration follow a relatively straightforward format, and it's very similar to the syntax on how functions are defined in other programs like programming languages such as C++ or Python. Now, and they're perfectly fine to use for writing functions that you intend to call directly. Now, you may, though, start treating functions as values by passing them as arguments and the like. Then other styles of creating functions may be more useful to you, and that's what we're going to look at here. So the next up we're going to talk about is a function expression. Okay, and maybe this would be better if I went over here so that we could actually see a couple of them in action side by side. And actually, these are relatively easy. Let me just delete these. All right, so first we have the function statement that we had before. Note we could also do something like let add is equal to function a b, okay, and then return a plus b. Now this, so let me actually go on and add this one. So we'll do add a b and then return a plus b. So both of these functions do exactly the same thing. Okay. Now, so this one is our original that we had here, and this one here is a function expression, or also known as a function literal. And this is a code literal whose value is a function. Okay, so notice here that we actually have this function here. Whereas a function declares and creates a function and binds it to a name, a function expression, so this is this here, okay? So a function expression like this, okay, looks very similar to our function declaration, which we had up here, but there's two main differences. First, the function expression does not have a name included, okay? It's not nowhere visible in here. Now, although you can include one if we want, a function expression without names are called anonymous functions. Okay, so if we got rid of this part here, this is just an anonymous function. Okay. Now, second, the function expression can't be written at the start of a line of code, or JavaScript will think it's a function declaration. There has to be some code before the function key. So this is why function expressions are often used in contexts where functions are needed to be treated as values. So for example, here we create up this add function here that we have, and the function keyword, okay, this is the function keyword, here appears on the right-hand side of the assignment statement rather than at the start of the line, such as we have here. Now the function itself is anonymous, okay, since we don't provide a name after the function key. You'll see, though, that in our example, though, that it's going to have our two parameters, our a and b, in this instance, and they're specified in the parentheses. And just like our original add function, now the body returns the sum of the parameters that are enclosed in braces, much like our body of the function declaration. But notice that we need to put a semicolon after this expression here. Now, although the function is technically anonymous, it's also bound to the add word here. We can therefore call the function by putting a pair of parentheses containing the necessary arguments. So we'll call this one add 1, this one add 2. So again, we can do add 2, add 2, 2, 2. Okay. Okay, so and again, we see 4 here. So again, we can always utilize this add to expression. Okay, and again, calling it in a similar way and doing 2 more functions. Now, we can optionally include a name for our function. Let me go over here. Okay. So we can go on and we can include a name. So do something like let named function add is equal to function add a b. Okay, and here we can actually here we are given a function with its name is add, although notice that we're still assigning this function to this named add function add in a separately named variable. Now, in fact, though, the add name isn't in the scope outside of the body of the function. This means that we can't call this function by name. For example, so let's actually change this to something like added. Okay, just for fun. All right, and let's save this and we do something like log named function add of 2, 3. Okay, now let's also do the same thing here and do added of 5 and 4. Okay, so let's save this. Let's go on and try and rerun it. Notice caught syntax error added here. So let's go back over here, and what doesn't it like here? This all is actually correct. Let's try doing this. Let's do added. And there's nothing explicitly wrong with this. What isn't it liking though? It's wanting me to do that, but that's not correct. Well, anyways, we'll just rewrite this function real quickly and do added, and here a b. All right, there we go. Return a plus b. All right, so if we run this, we should see this function coming out, and then this one here, we should be seeing some sort of error when we run this. So let's go through here. Let's restart. Oh, Okay, so notice here, 5 works. Now we caught a reference added is not a function. It's not defined in here. And again, that is simply because when we actually name this function, inside here, it's not in our scope that we would have outside of it. Now, in many respects here, function expressions, like we have here, okay, and function declarations, like we have here, are interchangeable. Now, so choosing between the two approaches is often just a matter of style. So again, for defining our function of adding 2 numbers together as a function expression or assigned it to some variable is largely equivalent to defining its using a function declaration as we originally did. Now, when it comes to passing functions as arguments, however, function expressions offer certain advantages. So earlier, for example, we declared that timeout function, that set timeout as an argument. Now, a more common way to do this is to simply write a function, write an equivalent function expressing it directly inside of the timeout. So let's go on and comment that out, and I'm going to go back over here. So we can just type this in directly. So if we do set time out here, and we can do function, again here we're just creating up an anonymous function or a function expression, and we can do console log in here of hello. And we'll set this to, what we'll do it for 3 seconds. All right, wait for it, and eventually here, hello pops up. Good. Now, previously we had called this set timeout out with a greeting of 2000. Okay. Now, you don't actually need to do that. That, again, is just passing the name of a function. But this time we passed just the function expression itself. So the function expression defines an anonymous function for logging this hello into the console window, or and it's equivalent to this one that we saw before. Now, notice one thing, that the function keyword here isn't the first thing of the line of the code. A requirement for a function expression is that the closing brace is followed by a comma. Now, since the function expression is part of the list of arguments, okay, so that's why it has this comma right here. Now, using a function expression in this case is much more concise, since we don't have to separately define the delay function before passing it to the set timeout. Now, another type of function that we can do, we will talk about in the next video. We'll talk about the arrow functions. So again, if you like this video, please comment, subscribe, and hit that like button, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.